Ron Van Dam. He doesn't need this gig. He's got all that money coming from that deposed Nigerian prince. Should be here any day now, and then he's kissing you suckers goodbye. You're listening to The Ron Van Dam Show on New England Broadcasting.
Ron Van Dam is an experienced talk show host. Do not attempt to try this at home.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Okay, whatever.
Hold on tight. Things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. Hey, you. Welcome to the program. It is the Ron Van Dam Show. How you doing today? Oh, sorry to hear that. Okay, well then, sit back, make yourself comfortable. I'll be entertaining and informing you of something. I don't know what. I'll inform you of something in the next 30 minutes. And then after that, well, you're on your own. Oh, it's the holiday weekend, kids. Oh, it's the holiday weekend. You know what that means. It means it's the holiday weekend. Okay. Before we go any further, let me point out the exits. I have to do this by law, just in case there's a fire or you want to leave suddenly because of what you're listening to. I have to point out the exits. It's a requirement of law. I'm sorry, I don't mean to do it, but I have to. All right. There's an exit over there and one over there. And, no, don't use that one. No, that's the stairs are broken. Don't use that. Okay. Also, you need to listen to this.
This is the Ron Van Dam Show. Thank you for coming. Your waiter will be along shortly. Please be advised that the Ron Van Dam Show has been designated as a non-smoking area. Please watch your step while boarding the Ron Van Dam Show, as contents may have shifted during travel. In clinical studies, the Ron Van Dam Show has not been shown to reduce cholesterol in laboratory animals. Exits are located to the rear on the left and right sides of the auditorium. The sea bass is steamed and served with a white truffle risotto. Illinois residents add 5% sales tax. Shake before serving. If dizziness or swelling occur, stop using the Ron Van Dam Show immediately. Proper ID is required. No cover charge after 10 p.m. Moo. Listening to the Ron Van Dam Show may require you to lift objects weighing 15 pounds or more. Please remain seated until the Ron Van Dam Show comes to a complete stop.
Very important information. Okay, my guest today, I'm doing an extended interview with my guest. It's Dr. Julie Gatza. Do you know her? She is an expert on what you eat. And I'm telling you, during the holidays and in the holidays, I overeat, and I eat stuff I shouldn't eat, and it's not a good thing, and I get bloaty and gassy. I gain about 70 pounds in my stomach. It's horrible. But why? And apparently it's because of what I eat and how I eat it. So I thought that with the holiday season, it would be a good idea to speak to her and to find out how we can stay healthy and still enjoy the holidays. Does that make sense to you? Are you still there? Hello? You there? So that's what we're going to do. You know, there was an expression when I was growing up, you are what you eat. Have you heard that expression, millennials? No, probably not. That was the expression, you are what you eat. And I loved, as a kid, my favorite thing to eat was bologna. So I guess I was full of bologna. People would tell me, Ron, you're full of bologna. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I am full of bologna because I loved bologna. My mother used to give me bologna sandwiches for lunch. When I went to school, I had a little lunch thing, a little lunch box pail thing, the thing. And my mother would make Wonder Bread, white Wonder Bread, And she would put bologna slices between the bread, which makes it a sandwich by definition, and I would eat that for lunch, and I did it for every day of my life for 77 years. I'm kidding, not that long, just when I went to school. I'm not even 77 years old, so that joke just went nowhere. Anyway, and my mother and father sent me away to sleepaway camp during the summers for two reasons. One, they wanted to socialize me. That was a mistake. They wanted to socialize me, and the other reason was they wanted to get me the hell out of their hair for the summer so that they could go away and have a good time without worrying about me and my brother. So they would send me away to sleepaway camp, which meant I wasn't in my house for almost 2 months. And at sleepaway camp, it was a camp. You would go camping. I hate camping. I've always hated camping. I hated camping then. I hate camping now because there's no reason to do that. There's places to live in. There's hotel rooms. There's houses now, apartments. So why am I sleeping in a camp, and why am I sitting in the woods roasting marshmallows on a stick that perhaps most of nature has peed upon during the night? Why am I putting that in my mouth with a marshmallow at the end? And why am I sitting there with 20 other boys in close proximity in a circle around fire? What the hell's going on here? I hated camping. I still do. And I think it was because of my experiences in camp where we went camping. The camp counselor would say, okay, boys, we're going to go into the woods and we're going to go camping. And all the other boys said, oh, great. And I said, oh, my God, this is worse than hell itself. But the one thing that they did, because we would camp out overnight, which is, and I kept saying to the counselor and to the other kids, we have beds back in the cabin. Why are we sleeping out in the wild overnight? Because that's the way they used to sleep, Ron. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Even cave people slept in caves. Anyway, in the morning, we would go back to the cabin, and the counselor would, they had like a mess hall, which is the stupidest name for a dining room. That's what they call a dining room in a camping situation, in a summer camp situation. They call it the mess hall, and they call in the military too. I don't know if they still call it. It's the mess hall. This is where you eat food. Why would you call it a mess hall? And they called the actual food that you ate. You ate mess. It's so disgusting. Just so disgusting. I can't even tell you. But the little chef in the dining hall mess room hall would take bologna, slice it up, and put it on a grill, and he would grill the bologna. I took an immediate affection to this. Then this mess chef would scramble eggs. Large pots of scrambled eggs, because there are a lot of kids in this camp. And then he would throw the grilled pieces of bologna into the scrambled eggs. That, to me, was heaven. That was heaven. Camping out was hell. Those are my definitions. Well, that stuck with me, and I had loved bologna as a kid, and that just accentuated the bologna. And then as I got older, as a young adult, I realized I'm eating stuff that may eventually kill me. I'm eating high in sodium fat that has been pressed into a loaf, and I'm eating this crap every day. And I stopped eating bologna. I haven't had bologna in decades and decades and decades and decades. I won't tell you how old I am, but it's been decades and 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 decades. It's been a long time. Now I eat very, very healthy. I'm conscious of everything I put into my mouth. Since I got married, not as many things go in my mouth as they used to, but that's besides the point. Ooh, Ron, holidays, kids listening, cut it out. Now I'm talking about food. What are you talking about? So, Dr. Julie, after this long introduction, probably isn't there anymore, but let's go to her. But before we do that, There's this.
Give the gift that says, I love you. The gift that says, happy birthday. The gift that says, get well soon. The gift that says, you're the reason I went into the priesthood. The gift that says, congratulations on not getting indicted. The gift that says, I want to cover you in warm chocolate pudding. The gift that says, good luck in clown college. The gift that says, thanks for removing my unsightly wart. The gift that says, sorry about giving you food poisoning. The gift that says, I'll see you in hell. The gift that says, remember the good times we had in prison. The gift that says, I want to make sweet love to you on the white sand beaches of Rio while your hot cousin watches. The gift that says, thank you for the kidney. The gift that says, you deserve all the best, but this will have to do. The gift that says, thanks, Jesus. Whatever you want to say, you can say it beautifully with a timeless gift from Phyllis Gorman's House of Macaroni Art on Route 94 just past the Rotary, across from Sweaty Palmer's Adult Emporium.
Dr. Julie Gatza joins us now. We call her Dr. Julie. She's co-founder of the Florida Wellness Institute. She's been, dealing with the effects of things on the body for a long time. 30 years of clinical practice, etc., and she's only 32. It's amazing how she pulls this off. Okay. All right, enough of that.
Thank you.
Okay. I always learn so much when I talk to you because everybody loves to eat, and then the next day it's, why did I do that? And that's like a life pattern for me. I'm surrounded by all these foods during the holidays. I want to indulge, and when I do, I know it's going to happen to me, and it does. And I don't know. It's kind of like a circle of weirdness.
Yes, I totally understand. Well, one of the things that happens when people eat like that is we're supposed to be making enough digestive enzymes to break down normal food. And in general, because our food's changed, our soil's changed, everything's different than it was in the 70s, we don't make enough digestive enzymes. So even in a normal meal, people are experiencing gas, bloating, indigestion, heartburn, acid reflux, constipation, diarrhea. Any of these things simply mean you're not breaking down your food. So bloat might be very common, but it isn't normal. And it simply is the body saying, yeah, you're unhealthy. You're not getting the nutrition from the food. You will have other things coming that may not be registered that it started at digestion. But it is the first sign of unhealth, which is why I've put so much attention on it in the past 34 years that I've been in practice, because even a chronic neck problem, I correct their digestive system. And when they get their digestion working better, their neck doesn't go out. They aren't as in much pain. They don't get headaches. It's so obvious that it's a direct correlation that this is why I put so much attention on it.
Wow. In just that one sentence, you kind of explained everything for me.
Great.
I do the probiotics thing, which helped a little bit, but I don't think that's enough if I don't change my eating habits, right?
Yes, it's true. And, I push digestive enzymes like crazy with my patients because it's such an immediate solution for them for, okay, you're not doing well, take these, it'll help you break down your food. Right. So I give it to healthy patients, I give it to unhealthy patients, and patients that don't want to change a thing about their diet, then for sure I really push those, high quality digestive enzymes on them. But, when it really comes down to it, we are responsible for how we feel. And most everything that we get isn't really unlucky. It's we caused it. And digestion is just one of those things that, once you become aware, you go, oh, okay, gosh, I really am, burping today or gassy or whatever it may be. So then you just correlate it right back to, well, what did I do the last meal or yesterday?
Yeah. I can do dairy, but if I do it sometimes too much, I'm going to pay for it kind of quickly. And it's amazing how we know what things give us these effects, but we still do them.
Well, I think part of it is, obviously, that's about dairy, but, dairy tastes so good and it's a habit of yours and it's the thing that you're doing, constantly. However, a lot of times you're reaching for those foods that are inflaming you because you're missing nutrition in other ways. Oh. So, in general, I have my patients eating, protein every meal, not skipping it, not having lame protein as in some weird protein shake. I'm talking actual, meat, fish, chicken, eggs, whatever it may be in the protein form, and not skipping meals, at least to begin. So it's protein and vegetables, those two things the body can break down. And then I generally say no carbs, including rice, while we're trying to get them back on track. And when they do that, they aren't battling the carbohydrate, all the glyphosate, the Roundup that's on the food. They're basically just focused on breaking down the protein because every cell needs it, breaking down the vegetables, every cell needs it. And I'm talking cooked vegetables, not salads, because those are more complicated. When we're trying to fix digestion, we want to think like feeding a sick 2-year-old. And you wouldn't sit them down and make them eat a big salad and say, all right, now we've just given you a healthy meal. You'd cook the broccoli, you'd cook the asparagus and the meat as well.
Let me ask you something a little bit off the path here. A lot of people have prediabetes, especially when they get a little bit older. It's kind of like part of the deal. And they start doing the sugar-free, and they're looking for the sugar-free artificial that isn't too hard on the body. Has this put us as a generation into a different digestive category now because of these things?
I think it's the exact same as it's always been. It's just, it's incorrect information. They believe that it's the sugars. I mean, obviously, if you're diabetic and you've been eating massive amounts of sugar, okay, show. That's sort of that's kind of a no-brainer. Stop eating sugar and your sugars will go down. However, many people are diabetic that, have a quote-unquote healthy diet. And, I only took on diabetics for a good 8 years right before COVID. And that was, an older population that didn't want to come in after that. Right. So just from, what happened. But the way that I was correcting diabetes was, once again, fixing digestion. And I wouldn't have them eat any carbs, and they weren't allowed any fruit, and they were allowed protein and vegetables. And they did that, and they took the digestive enzymes, and within a month, they saw significant change in their sugars. And so as far as substitute sugars, I'm not a fan. They're weird, they're chemical, they're made in a lab generally. So, if somebody wants to sweeten something, probably if they're diabetic, they need to hold off on that for the moment, have either some fruit, or I prefer people to use honey and, things like that as over, artificial stuff.
Interesting. You say here that eating a jar of baby food can sometimes correct the situation. Never thought of that, but kind of makes sense.
I mean, if you're in a hurry, it's never my huge favorite, but I have come across, people that are like, I just had some of the, pureed something. And I'm like, okay. So, and so, it's easy. I generally made my kids' own food in the blender, but, they do have some decent ones that are organic. I'm not a big fan of baby food because when you look at the actual ingredients, almost all of them have potatoes and carrots and peas.
I see.
And those are the three things I wouldn't even give to an adult if I'm trying to keep them healthy.
Okay, so don't go to that necessarily as a fix.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
All right. So most people suffer from bloating and gas and heartburn. That's kind of like across the board. And that's because of the way we eat, or is it more serious with conditions?
No, it's basically the way we eat and also our food. Yeah. So, I do believe that our grains have changed so dramatically that, really it should be used as a treat, not a staple, because they're so gross and toxic at this point, even though they taste amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
So, with that, the bloating is, you're not making enough digestive enzymes. You need to add them. It could be that you have a food sensitivity to something like yours, dairy, and, that should be avoided because it's clearly inflaming the inside of you, which is why you're bloating.
Right.
And when the intestine is inflamed, now you have food, unbroken down food that goes into the bloodstream. Now your immune system is constantly battling the stuff that doesn't belong there. Yeah. And this is how autoimmune disorders start. This is how chronic inflammation starts. This is why somebody looks so puffy and tired and circles under the eyes, is they've got this this gunk getting into the digestive and into the bloodstream that should be just eliminated and absorbed only with nutrition.
Wow. Very quickly, you mentioned that spices, certain spices can actually improve the flavor without putting crap in it.
Yeah, I think we kind of underspice in this country.
Mm-hmm.
We certainly use a lot of hot sauce and spicy things like that, which I'm not a huge fan of, because if it burns your tongue, it's burning your intestine.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that minimal. But, people will have chicken and they just, sort of lightly sprinkle on, let's say, oregano.
Mm-hmm.
But, when you use heavier green spices, you satisfy your craving for fats, you satisfy your craving for salts and sugars, because you're getting so much good flavor from things like, when was the last time you used marjoram? Nobody uses it, but it's a tasty spice that, you could coat your chicken with a number of different green spices and you do feel satisfied. You feel like you had something a little off the normal because of it.
Very good. The holidays are coming up, the big food holidays, bang, bang, right? And it's temptation versus smarts. And how do you tackle that with all the stuff being thrown at you?
The best thing that I can say is don't skip your meals. When you do go to a party or when you do having the big Thanksgiving meal, try everything. And then make sure that you bring some of it home so you don't feel so compelled to only have that taste right now and you must, pile it in. As far as, the desserts, put a napkin over the pieces of pie that you would like and take them home. You don't have to, load up that evening and, have to eat pie immediately after the table is cleared. It's just so much on the body. And nobody's any fun after dinner because they've so overeaten that, they're laying on the couch, buttons undone, belts undone, and, just sort of flicked there. And it's like, oh, I just can't wait to go home. So, I do put a big bowl of Absorbaid, which is the digestive enzyme that I use. And it's sitting out. When the appetizers come, I walk around with a bowl of that. When the dinner is, I remind everybody, take some. And it's because I want fun guests throughout the evening. Everyone's going to overeat a bit. And, let's just mitigate it before it happens, because if you can break down those foods faster and utilize them, then they're not going to sit in your gut and cause you travail.
Yeah. How much more time do I have with you? Because I got more.
You have time.
Okay, cool. You also say to chew your food completely. Don't eat because you're eating. Enjoy every mouthful, and that way you eat less?
It's true. And, I pick up the number of 22 to just keep in mind to chew your food that much. It's just random, but it's easy to remember. And the reason being is if you're actually mindful about chewing, you're like, oh, I really don't chew enough. And then you start realizing that you're kind of like a dog that puts a piece of steak in their mouth and swallows it with no chewing. We do not chew enough. And with that, we're not able to break down our foods the way that we should. We're not allowing our digestive system to be able to absorb the nutrients that they could if we would actually sit down and chew. You're also fuller faster, and you will probably lose a bit of weight if you chew your food better and have less digestive problems.
Yeah, the only problem with not bloating anymore is I don't have an excuse. No, I'm not fat. I'm just bloated. Now I won't be able to say that.
It's just funny. And, I can just spot it immediately because especially in men, they have, nice arms, nice legs, and then they have this belly that's sticking out. And it simply means they are not digesting their food. Their gut is inflamed and, their metabolism is thrown off because of it.
Yeah. These are the days of stress, and a lot of people use food in order to relieve their stress, their anxiety. That's kind of natural for a human, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But, it all comes along with education as well. And the fact is, eating a pint of ice cream when you're stressed out is really tough on the body because your digestion is not the number one area that's going to wake up when you're stressed. It goes, dormant. And you've got, all the brain things that are happening and your mind is overworking. And so the fact is, this is where you want to eat things that are very easy to digest. Have soup, have a smoothie, have, some easy, some fruit, some vegetables. I know that sounds so counter what people want to do.
Yeah.
However, the other is just going to stress you out more, because now you've got digestive stress on top of mental stress, physical stress, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I guess that's true. What would you use? People used to chew gum in order to not eat, rather chew gum. Is chewing gum a good idea, or you just swallowing the saliva here? Yeah.
I don't find any gums that have any good ingredients in them anymore.
Right.
They all have strange things. And so, what I would say is make yourself something unusual. Why don't you find a cool herbal tea? Why don't you, make a peppermint tea from growing the peppermint in your yard? Do something that's just a little off the norm. Put some ginger and turmeric and lemon and pineapple in a blender and, drink that down, and you'll find that you feel better. Your body, it's different for your taste buds. You could possibly put that in as a habit, and it has all sorts of healing benefits. And there's a million things that people aren't doing that they could just incorporate one thing.
Are one of the reasons you have listed here to keep the food groups similar, so that you're not switching back between different digestive patterns? Thanksgiving meal is like 5 different things on the plate, all different digestion requirements.
I think all bets are off on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
However,
Okay.
If you can do it, go for the protein first. Yeah. So we don't always serve turkey at our house, and whatever the protein is, I encourage everyone, eat the protein first. It's the hardest to break down. After that, go for the vegetables, then have the stuffing, the rice, the potatoes, whatever it may be. But allow your body to be able to just digest it a little. Gotcha. Slow your meal down. It's sitting there. It's all yours. There's plenty of food. And then if you're going to have dessert, which everyone wants it, just wait an hour, wait 2 hours, take it home. Just let your body digest the food and, take some enzymes. The Absorbate, I can't say enough about. It's just a lifesaver for so many of my patients.
Okay, that's a good idea. There's something that you taught me a couple of times ago that we talked, and that is when you go to the supermarket and go food shopping, be your own investigator. Read the labels. Sometime, and I do that. Now I'm educated to do that every time I pick up an item. I look at the contents, and soups especially. I've gotten a lot smarter about that. Soups like 800 milligrams of sodium. I know. Whoa, baby!
It's crazy. I mean, you'd be better off to just buy a whole chicken, a good chicken, throw it in a pot, and make yourself soup. Yeah. It's cheaper. You'll have a lot more. You don't have to then, mitigate all the weird ingredients that are in the broths, the bouillons, and all the things like that. Or, you could buy yourself some organic chicken broth and throw all your things into it that you want to do for your own for your own soup.
Cool. Well, there's a wealth of information, as we've kind of just hit the tip of the iceberg. Is there a place to go where we can get the whole Bible here?
Yes, you can go to the website, which is naturesources.com, and you can read about the Absorbade, which I've mentioned. They have it in a couple of different forms. You can give it to your kids, your dogs. It will aid in breaking down their food and getting more nutrients from it. It's a vegan formula, and you can also get some free samples on the website. The other thing you can do, if you can want to call the 1-800 number, you can use the code RADIO and also ask for some free samples or get 20% off your first order. That number is 1-800-827-7656. We can hear all this information. You can have all this great data on your show, but unless you do something about it, you're like, an intelligent dummy. Yeah. So the fact is, do something about it. And this company makes it super easy for you to at least, get some free samples, educate yourself a little further, and maybe delve into the idea that digestion is important to fix.
Julie, that should be a book. You should author a book, The Intelligent Dummy. So I think you do very well with it.
Thank you. I just might.
Okay, fine. I need some percentage of that if that's the case.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you again. And also, she mentioned a phone number. My God, when's the last time I've ever heard that for getting information? That's pretty cool, too. All right, one more time, the website for the website peoples.
The website is naturesources.com.
Great. Always a pleasure. Have a great holiday, Julie.
Thanks. You as well.
Well, that'll do it for me today. Thank you to you, and thank you to my guest. I'll be back again on Monday with a brand new episode. Will you join me then, he said rhetorically, with knowing that you can't answer when you're doing a radio show. People can't say, yeah, sure, I'll join you, but you assume that they will, so I hope you do. But until that time arrives, I wish you peace.
It was unbelievably painful.